Hello friends, welcome to Feral Moon Designs. I hope you're all doing well. In the last video, we kicked off the new year by shining a little light on the darkness, and given my recent affinity for the whimsical and fantastic, I figured it only appropriate that we continue gracing the new year by adding a little magic. Lumos. Specifically, I want to make a set of magic wands.
You're a wizard, Harry.
To do this, I'll be using Super Sculpey Original, some dowel rods, an unfinished wood plaque, and various hardware for hanging the wand display and the wands themselves. I'll start off by cutting the dowel rods to size for both wands, and then it's time to sand them. And because I'm a proponent of working smarter, not harder, I'll use my drill to do most of the work as I shape down the tips of the wands. For the first one, I'm going to be going for a simple yet elegant ivory theme. I'll be using some rolled out clay to form the swirl on the end, and then bulking out and forming the general shape of the wand before going in and adding the detail and smoothing and working out all the surfaces. Once I've got a general form and layout in place, I can then go ahead and start building out the handle itself. Here I'll use my hobby knife to remove a little bit of excess to form a bevel for the thumb. As I form out the area above what I'll call the hilt of the wand, I'll use my shaping tool to add a bit of texture as well. Next, I'll use my rubber shaping tool to add a little texture detail to the handle of the wand as well. And with the basic structure of our ivory wand complete, it's time to move on to what I'll call the Red Moon wand. I'll use some bacon bond on the dowel rod with some rolled out clay applied to form the base of the handle. Next, it's time to make what will be the red moon on the tip of the handle. I'll be adding the texture detail before throwing it in the oven for a quick bake. Once the moon and the base for the handle have cured, it's time to attach the red moon to the tip of the handle. To do so, I'll drill a small indentation into the tip of the dowel rod, and using some super glue, I'll attach the ball to the end of the handle itself. Some bacon bond and a rolled out strip of clay to cap it off will add to the adhesion. From this point on, it's a matter of continuing to detail that handle by using various bits of rolled out clay and strips of clay to form separations and detail. I'll use some Bacon Bond and rolled out clay to bulk out the handle and give me a bit more to work with as I carve away to create that carved look for the handle itself. I'll use some strips of clay on either end of the carved handle portion to cap that off. Each of these strips will be secured with Bacon Bond, and then using my tools, I'll go ahead and add some texture detail as well. Finishing up the handle portion now, I'll cap it all off with a beveled piece with some texture detail added, and then smoothing out the exterior portion. Once the handle's complete, I'll give it a quick bake, and then it's on to the remainder of the wand. Now I want this wand to have a twisted, bendy, wooden look. To do this, I'll be using Bacon Bond on the remainder of the wand and then start attaching clay to bulk it out. With a base layer of clay in place, I'll start attaching small scraps randomly to kind of give an uneven look. From there, it's just a matter of using various tools to go in and cut away, smooth out, and add texture to the wooden portion of the wand. And once all of that is complete, I'll go over and brush off all of those crumbs of clay and then give it a nice isopropyl alcohol bath to remove any fingerprints and smooth it out even further. With that, it's time to throw this wand in the oven for a quick cure, and it's on to the display. I'll start off the display by cutting out all the pieces that I'm going to need. Each of these pieces will be detailed with a worn texture and painted gold metallic when it's all said and done. Here I'll use foil to add some of that texture, as well as a straight edge to apply some line details to what will be some metal trim on the display. Next, I'll poke some holes in the circle fittings for the hooks to go through. Now, with all my pieces cut out, it's time to add some dimension. I'll be using strips and strands of clay along the exterior to form the trim on various pieces. And I'll throw in a couple of little faux screw caps for added detail. all of our little pieces complete, it's time to throw them in the oven for a quick cure, and then it's on to painting. I'll start off by giving all of those little bits and pieces a base coat in black before moving on to the plaque itself. The plaque is going to start with a base coat in black as well. Before starting the painting process, I've already attached the hanging brackets and pre-drilled the holes for the hooks. And with the base coats complete, it's time to give all of our bits and pieces a dry brush of Folk Art Metallic Gold. I'll use the same metallic gold along the outer bevel on the plaque. Using transparent adhesive paper, I'll add the Feral Moon Designs text to our metal placard. I'll also be adding the Feral Moon logo as well as my house insignia to the circular placards. Fellow Ravenclaws, sound off in the comments below. I'll finish these up by pouring UV resin into each placard and then curing using the UV light that I may have stolen from my girlfriend. Borrowed. With our wand display ready for assembly, it's time to move on to the wands themselves. I'll be starting off by giving the wood portions of the Red Moon wand a base coat in brown, moving on to the Ivory wand and giving that a base coat in white. With those base coats complete, it's time for a wash. Next, I'll go in with a burnt sienna dry brush to add a little bit of contrast and highlights on the wooden portion. Followed by a base coat in black on the metallic and handle portions of the Red Moon wand. And speaking of Red Moon, it's time to make it so, starting with a base coat of Crimson Red, followed by a nice wash and a highlight. Next, a quick dry brush on our metallic pieces using a Folk Art Metallic Silver. And with that, it's time to finish up that Red Moon wand by making that Red Moon shine. I'll use a quick coat of UV resin and my UV flashlight to cure it. With that Red Moon wand complete, it's time for me to return my focus to the Ivory wand. I'll start off with a dirty brown wash. I'll then follow that up with an off-white dry brush. My goal here is to neutralize that titanium white base coat and tone down the brightness and saturation. Additionally, I'll add a black base coat to the metallic details. I'll go over that top portion of the handle as well as the underbelly with a darker off-white for contrast. Next, it's time to make that metal shine. I'll go over the black primed areas with that same Folk Art Gold Metallic. And with the wands complete, it's time to add a quick coat of matte varnish. Down to the final steps now, it's time to assemble our display. I'll be using some contact adhesives to attach our metal trim as well as some super glue on our circular brackets. Once everything's dried, it's time to install the hooks. Each hook will then get a gesso primer as well as a black base coat and a dry brushing of gold metallic. From there, the nameplate and insignia placards will all be attached with contact adhesive. And with that, folks, there's nothing left to do but move on to the showcase. Folks, I want to take a quick moment to thank you for watching. I really enjoyed this project, and I love that I have something to display on my wall. Which wand was your favorite? Was it the Red Moon wand, or perhaps the Ivory wand? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more projects inspired by the wizarding world, be sure to leave a like and comment "more magic please," and I'd be happy to oblige. Again, thanks for watching, and thank you in advance for the likes and shares. They really do help get the video out there as a recommended video, as many of you have commented that that's exactly how you found my channel in the first place. So if this is your first time watching, be sure to hit subscribe and join us next time. Until the next video though, take care friends. I'll see you soon.